What's up, Mets fans? So here's one of my favorite opening day that I'll never forget. It's 1985. I'm a senior in high school. Of course, I cut out of school. Kids don't cut out of school. Because the Mets just traded for Gary Carter. It's his first time as a Met. Game is 5-5. Here comes Gary Carter. What does Gary Carter do to end the game? The kid, boom! Walk-off, home run, welcome to Queens. The kid, Gary Carter, one of the greatest opening day Met games ever. The kid, I miss you, Gary. Let's go Mets, baby. And that was the beginning of many great memories by Gary Carter. Let's go Mets. Come on, guys. Let's get this done.
All right, Wayne, you've been alive for like 6 opening days.
That's right.
What's your favorite?
You know, I'll take it back a little bit because I remember the year 2000 in Tokyo.
Oh, you go that far
It was the first games in Japan ever. The Mariners and A's just did it. But I woke up at like 4 in the morning to watch both of those games between the Mets and the Cubs, and I thought that was really cool at that time that they were playing those first ever international games, and to open the season a week before everybody else got to.
I'll go a little further back than that because I think most of our favorite memories of this sort come from childhood, and for me, that was opening day 1970. I never anticipated an opening day at Shea Stadium as much as 1970 because when the Mets won the World Series in 1969, that meant on opening day they were going to raise that National League or World Championship pennant to the up the flagpole at Shea Stadium. The only problem with that day was it was cold, it was rainy, and the Mets wound up losing. But I spent 6 months waiting for that one day.
Was it worth your while?
Absolutely. I saw that pennant go up. That was one beautiful sight.
Hi, this is Bobby Valentine, and my favorite Met opening day has got to be 2000. Opening day in Tokyo, first time ever, major leagues, abroad, opening up, Cubs, Mets, expanded roster. We expanded it and took Benny Agbayani as one of our extra players. He pinched hit with the bases loaded in extra innings, hit a grand slam, good guys win. And that's my favorite Met opening day.
My favorite opening day memory is probably 1996. That was the Ray Ordonez play. There was so much fanfare about watching this guy come up and what he was going to be like, especially defensively. And then in that game against the Cardinals, I remember Royce Clayton coming around trying to score, and Ordonez on the cutoff from his knees, fires home, nails Clayton at the plate. It was awesome. It's like, man, this guy's going to be so good. There's a lot of great Mets memories from opening day for me, certainly when I worked covering the team for SNY, but that was one of my favorites, Ray Ordonez in 96.
I've been to 25 of the 55 or 56 opening days, and my favorite was in the year 2000 when Derek Bell hit a home run. He was brand new outfielder for the Mets, and it was a precursor to an unbelievable season, which led to them getting into the World Series and the first Subway Series from the 1950s. Let's go Mets.
I'm fortunate to have been to quite a few, but the one that really stands out for me, April 5th, 1983, the day that Tom Seaver came back to the Mets. Tom Seaver was my boyhood hero, as he was for so many people. And when he was traded, I was devastated, as were so many people. And then when he was re-signed with the Mets and it was announced that he was going to be the opening day starter, I knew that I had to be there. I made sure that I got my tickets in the mezzanine, in the first row of the mezzanine, section 18, I think it was. And they're announcing the opening lineup, and you couldn't even hear after the announcer started to announce his name. The bullpen door opens, and here comes Seaver out of the bullpen, warm-up jacket on, strolling down the right field line to the dugout. The roar was so loud, it could have knocked you right out of your seat. And then the thing that topped it off is the first batter he faces is Pete Rose, and he strikes him out. At that point, it almost didn't matter what else was going to happen. the rest of the season or even the rest of that game, but Tom Seaver was back.
I've got my favorite Mets cap here that my dad gave me when I was a kid. You know, I've been asked what's some of my favorite opening day memories, and I can go way, way back. I think probably one of the biggest ones is 1983 when Tom Terrific came back to Shea Stadium, and they beat the Phillies 2-0 in that game. I remember that when Seaver came back. However, I am such a weather geek that I remember the weather on opening day more than I remember sometimes the actual game or some of the plays or the players themselves. So, you know, I remember the coldest, rainiest, snowiest day that they had for opening day, and that goes back to 1971. They had to call the game after 5 innings. I remember that. But also the hottest really wasn't all that long ago. That was back in 1991, and Dwight Gooden was pitching that game in 90-degree heat.
My favorite opening day Mets memory is probably 1985. I was just out of college, crazy Met fan, and it was going to be a good year. And then we got Gary Carter. We acquired Gary Carter. And not only did we get Gary Carter, but on opening day, bottom of the 10th, he hits a walk-off home run to defeat the hated St. Louis Cardinals. Doesn't get better than that in terms of a start in your Mets career.
As far as I'm concerned, every Mets opening day is terrific, but the one that I remember the most was in 2016, after they had been to the World Series in 2015, and all the players were introduced on the field, and seeing the tremendous ovations for David Wright, for Terry Collins, for Bartolo Colon, Noah Syndergaard. It was just a great day and a great expression of love and support from all the Mets fans. I'm looking forward to another great season this year. Let's go Mets. Let's go all the way. You can do it.
My favorite opening day memory is back in 1970, watching the Mets finally win an opening day game. But it was on the road, and we had to wait till the following year, 1971, to watch the Mets win at Shea Stadium. Since then, they've won many, many opening day games, and in fact have one of the best records with opening day. So, let's go Mets.